video. I'm Glow, your not so friendly intuitive reader, and I'm doing things a little different today. Normally I shuffle the cards while I'm on camera, but I'm really trying to hold myself accountable and spend more time with the decks before I just hop on screen. So I have a reading for you today, something that Spirit wants you to know about the frustration that you are experiencing and the things that have been seemingly on loop in your life. So I'm not going to drown on about it. I'm just going to go on and get into the reading. So the first card that we have out is the Four of Wands in reverse, the King of Wands in reverse, the Five of Wands in reverse, and the Ten of Swords in reverse. So I'm seeing right now that you are really experiencing a shakiness in your core beliefs right now. There's been a time in your life where you've experienced a lot of aggression from others, and now that you are on this healing journey, it's really causing you to think differently about everything that you felt like you've known up to this point. With this Five of Wands here in reverse, I'm sensing that we have a lot of inner conflict. One having to do with the fact that you still won't deal with your confrontations with these people who have been being such a burden to you. And your wounds are healing so slowly because you're not taking the time to do that deep mental work. I'm hearing that every time you're supposed to meditate, you come up with an excuse. But I need for you to understand something very clearly. It's only in meditation can you get the clarity that you seek. Creating the practice of stillness is not just about meditation. Meditation is not just about quieting your mind. A lot of times, as your ego is used to running the show, it really becomes a battle of wills about you just sitting down and telling your body, I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to move. You don't dictate what we do. I feel very strongly about that. So I have some oracle cards for you. We have Follow the Leader, Strength, Come Together, and Gentle Gardener. So going back to the Four of Wands in reverse, this Follow the Leader card, just like the Four of Wands, is leading towards a path. And I feel like the leader at this point is your higher self. Your higher self has been giving you all of these signs and been giving you all of these avenues to the things that you've been seeking, but you have been consciously deciding to stay comfortable where you are. And I really need to be honest with you and tell you that I really believe that after a while of trying to get you to do the things and notice the synchronizations in your life, your higher self will become disinterested, since you will not walk in your design purpose. We can get addicted to the conflict in our lives. We can get addicted to toxicity, and building a practice of mindfulness is a combatant of that. So over the King of Wands, we have Strength. When I say that you've been dealing with these aggressive people who really, you care a lot about these people's opinions, almost to your own detriment, almost at the risk of missing your opportunity in this season, because it's always going to come back around. It may not be exactly the same, because Spirit is prone to find another muse who's actually willing to do the work. But in this season, in this time, especially with this new energy that we are coming into and how quick our manifestations can take place, There is really a strong pull and urge on the collective to get their asses in gear. Excuse my language, YouTube, do not block me. You have a strength that's inside of you that is so far beyond anything you could possibly conceive, and you're continuing to stay in this victim mentality, which you're choosing to do by actively sitting in this conflict and sitting in this turmoil. And then we have the come together card right here above this Five of Wands, this inner conflict. So with me, I'm automatically seeing this come together being the merging of you and your higher self as you take steps to move forward. You're walking towards the person that you are meant to be. And when you get to that point, you look back on who you were, who you are, all in the same moment, and you've all come together and merged into the perfection of this soul, of this conquest that you have embarked on together. And then with the gentle gardener being over the Ten of Swords, my intuition is telling me very strongly that what you need to be pruning and gardening and tending to is your mind. Your subconscious mind has you in such a state of debilitation. You're so afraid, but you want to do so much. And I'm sure that it's the source of frustration for you. But it's you that you are going against. It's not your parents, not your friends, not your partner. Because all of these things are they're either going to fall in line or they're going to fall away, I'm hearing. So the next card, and what did I just say? I just said frustration, disruption, and fear. What? Like these are the source of your problems, and you're really experiencing these things from a place of still operating in a low density. Maybe not as low as you were once before, but you're not going full force into what it is that you feel in your heart and that you're being led and called to do. Fierce serenity. Overthinking can spoil magic. You have to be fierce about your peace. You have to be fierce about knowing that what you want for your life is more important than anything else. People teach us and they try to convince us that when we go after our dreams and when we try to reach our goals that we are selfish. And in a lot of ways in this material plane that's true. But who's going to show up to save you? Who's going to do this for you? Who's going to get you to that next level if you don't? But we come right back to these feelings that are derived from fear, this overthinking, this frustration for non-movement and non-action, this disruption in our lives. And then we go right back to the door of fear. It's a cycle. All things, every experience that we have, they are cycles. And we have to be the one to step through that door and walk into the unknown. There's an opportunity here for you to take a new direction in your life, to explore all of these things that you've been telling yourself that you want to do. When are you going to show up for yourself at full capacity? I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. You see what I'm saying? But you are going against yourself. I'm going to say this to you again. Nothing can stop you but you. What these people think do not matter. Their decisions and what they feel like you should do with your life does not matter. You still at this job that you don't want to be at, but you won't spend your off time doing the things that you want to do to gain the knowledge and the skills that you need for you to move forward. How can the collective take, what action is needed you gotta stop drifting. We got the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups in reverse. You gotta stop drifting. You have to stop drifting through life, because it keeps you detached, it keeps you unconnected. And you feel like by staying in this detached energy that you don't have to be disappointed. But that only applies to people, because the more detached you are from yourself, the more you're going to continue to be waddling and trying to fill this void with things that do not serve you. You constantly doing this. The time for this cycle is over. It's been over. Why do you think you meet so much resistance? A good girlfriend of mine, my sister, I love her very much. She told me, she said, sis, when you are meeting resistance in your life, that something is not for you. And I'm sharing that wisdom with you right here today. You need to start spending time in meditation, spending time with yourself. And I'm going to use this book that I'm reading as an oracle right now. I don't know why, but I'm following my intuition. It's called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. So I'm just going to flip the pages, and what I come to, I read from. Evolving our energy. Now that I have described these energy centers in detail, let's take a more dynamic look at how they can work. Certainly our bodies are designed to use energy in each of the centers as I've outlined, but what happens when we do more with our energy than just survive? What happens when, instead of releasing all of our energy outwards to procreate, to digest food, to run from danger and so on, we begin to consistently evolve some of their energy upward from one center to the next, increasing its frequency as it ascends. Here's what it would look like. We start out by channeling our creative energy from the first center, which would be the root chakra. When we feel safe and secure enough to create, that creative energy evolves, ascending and flowing into the second center. When we have to master some limitation or overcome some condition in our environment, we are able to put the creative energy to good use. And then it will flow to the third center, the seat of our willpower. When we successfully transcend the adversity in our life, which has challenged us to grow and overcome, we have the opportunity to feel more whole, more free, more satisfied, and we're then able to feel genuine love for self and others as the energy flows through and activates the fourth center. When that happens, we then want to express our present truth, what we've learned, or the love and wholeness we feel. And that allows the energy to move through and turn on our fifth center. After this, when the evolution of energy activates the sixth center, dominant areas of the brain open so that the veil of illusion is lifted and we perceive a broader spectrum of reality than we saw before. We then begin to feel enlightened. The body moves more into harmony and balance, in our external environment, including the natural world surrounding us, also moves into more harmony and balance as the energy ascends and activating the seventh center. Once we feel that enlightened energy, we begin to truly feel worthy, and the energy can finally rise to activate the eighth center, where we can receive the fruits of our efforts, visions, dreams, insights, manifestations, and knowingness that come not from anywhere within our minds and memories, but from a greater power in and around us. You understand that the less time you spend on your inner world, the more your physical reality is going to be and remain in chaos. We are at the cusp of the greatest energy of our lifetime. I encourage you, I implore you, if you are struggling to move to transition out of this stagnant energy, look at your birth chart. Download your app. We got CoStar, we got Astro Matrix. There are a lot of apps out here that can give you your birth chart, as long as an accurate birth chart, as long as you have your name, your birthday, and the time that you were born and what city you were born in. Pardon me. And if you don't have the time, get as accurate as you can. For me, and I'm being so completely transparent right now, I knew that something was wrong, but there was nothing for me to pinpoint. I knew nothing about growth, nothing about change, nothing about finding out who I could be outside of what I had already known and experienced, right? So as I started to read and look into my birth chart and dig deep, I found out a lot of the wounds that I carry, where they transpire from, the lack of motivation, the hypervigilance, all of these things. Our birth chart plays such a prominent role in our life. Now, I read it's something that I'm going to get into, but I'm sharing it with you because I feel like I'm being led to. If you don't have certain houses in your chart, there's a way for you to still research the ruler of those houses, and they will help you more toward understanding and figuring out what your purpose is. It's like, I consider it, and I just heard this, the hidden aspects of what's supposed to lead you into your purpose and what it is that you are meant to be doing here in this existence. You gotta let go of this inner conflict. You have to move away from people who, just because people do not understand what it is that you're doing, that does not mean that you cannot do your work. Are you gonna spend the rest of your life living it the same way that you've lived it before? Are you going to continue to allow yourself to be caught up in someone else's fears and by proxy making them your own? Because someone else did not succeed. Because someone else feels like something is bad. Because someone else feels like they want to be guided by, religion, or someone else feels like, this didn't work out for them. Are you going to continue to allow your life to be dictated by the actions of others, or are you going to make your own way? Are you going to sit with yourself in meditation? Are you going to create a mindfulness practice? Are you going to do something physical and that helps you to feel better about yourself? You are depressed and you are stagnant because you are not moving in no areas of your life. Now, not every day, but about 2 or 3 days this week. I don't care if it was 5 minutes because I work, but just 5 minutes of I sit out in front of my job. I sit out on the ground just to be connected to the earth, and I sit in meditation. I've been getting up and I've been walking, I'm walking into the life that I want to create, even though I don't know where it's going to lead me, even though I'm afraid. I'm petrified of relationships in my life falling away because people don't understand what it is that I'm doing. I'm afraid that I won't be supported. I'm afraid that I won't be loved because I don't want to live the way that other people want to live. But guess what? Be that the case. And if that is true and accurate, then these people were not meant for me. These people were not meant to be a part of my growth, a part of my change. And guess what? It's going to fall away. If these people are meant to grow with me, if these people are meant to move with me, guess what? We're going to move. But I no longer can put myself in a position where I keep myself super small in order for someone else to not feel inadequate, or in order for me to be accepted by other people. Because while I'm trying to be accepted by other people, I'm slowly dying inside. It's not gonna work. Now is the time to pick a side. And are you gonna fight for you, or are you gonna just be the stepping stone for other people? That's all I have for you today. I love you. And no, I don't know you, but I love you anyway. Because if you're listening to this, then you are part of my collective. You are part of my soul family. You just don't know it yet. Blessings.